Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. All right, guys. Decent day in the stock market, bullish day for the market overall. SPY QQQ. This week has been very solid. A lot of news, a lot of upgrades, lot of catalysts. Bunch of things have been working out. Market has stayed bullish in spite of Israel-Iran tensions and bunch of other stuff. But overall, the market has been really good for us. We had a decent day. We had one loser in the morning, try to long Tesla. Apart from that, we had most of the ideas in the community were pretty solid, pretty good. With a bullish market, most of the plays tend to work. A lot of our chart setups worked, like NVDA setup I shared on Twitter. That kind of worked. MSTR was breaking out yesterday. That pushed nicely as well. So we are gonna do a quick introduction. We'll do a quick introduction before we start for anybody who's new. So these recaps and teachings, I try to show you our trades, our guidance on what were our setups and how we trade consistently and profitably, keeping our losers minimal and our winners trading with a repeatable system. I try to show you that every day. I try to teach you that. I show you no hindsight. I show you the plan before the trade and how the trade worked out. So anything I share in this video is all the trade ideas and teachings are from anything I share on Twitter, on my YouTube, mostly from my community, and anything anything else that I have discussed in past, and it's all from there. So we trade repeatable system. My repeatable trading system in the stock market is used by thousands of traders to trade consistently. We trade repeatable setups that I've been teaching you over the years. The Twitter, on the YouTube, if you've been watching my recaps for more than a year now, I teach you and show you how the stocks move with our repeatable system. Every morning we have a game plan. Me and my team, we prepare for the day. We make a game plan for our community. In front, what you see around, all the news plays, upgrades, downgrades, everything that we are going to trade. We have initial bias based upon our support and resistance pivots, and we have initial game plan. We have our initial game plan how to trade those, and that's what we share in the morning. And we will go one by one. Not all of them will trigger. Some of them will trigger. I go through these trades. I'm live on voice in the open, and hundreds of traders are on our trading floor. They're sharing these ideas as well. So we share these we try to work together and have some consistent trades. So this was a game plan today. A bunch of names were on our watch list. A lot of them did trigger. VKTX, Hood, Roblox didn't do much, but was on the watch list as well. NFLX, which had a big JP Morgan upgrade, and I think there was another upgrade from Morgan Stanley. I think it was a double upgrade today. And so a bunch of these names, we were ready for the day with these with the watch list. Let's see. So in addition to this, we also have our daily levels, which we share with the community based upon these support and resistance pivots. And using the EMA Clouds, you can trade these all these stocks. We have what we call as our daily trades, which are all the stocks that we trade daily: Apple, Microsoft, AMD, NVIDIA, Netflix, Boeing, Amazon, Tesla, SMCI, Google, and these are the plays which we play daily based upon the market. So these are the levels we provide to our traders in the community. In addition to that, we also provide our day-to-day three list. This is a repeatable strategy that I built over the years, and we trade with this strategy as well. Today's date, there's not much from day to day three. China didn't do much, but we did trade FUTU. We'll talk about that as well. It was a day 2, day 3 setups on FUTU as well. So we provide this everything to the community in the morning, and sometimes I also tweet it out to my followers as well. And so we're ready for the trades, and then we trade. So we have in our community, we have all those scanners, we have news bots, we have audio alerts, support resistance alerts. We have everything in our community, and so that just one place to just one place for everything, right? If you join our community, you don't have to sign up to anything else. Everything in our community is free. Almost worth $300, $400, $500 per month, which is free in our community. And we're not an alert service. We're one of the #1 educational and trading community. I've been teaching, helping traders over the years on Twitter, and this community is just extension of that. And we try to work together as a group of professional traders and try to succeed. Anyways, that's a quick introduction. Let's start with the first play of the day. So we're going to start discussing with SPY QQQ, this how we traded it in the community. SPY QQQ, you can trade SPY QQQ every day. A lot of the traders are just SPY QQQ traders. You can trade that for living. You don't really need to trade anything. I did a webinar on that as well. I teach all the SPY QQQ how to trade that on my YouTube videos as well as on my Twitter X. You can watch the previous YouTube and learn how to trade SPY QQQ. So anyways, this morning SPY QQQ both were gapping up. Both were bullish over our 1 hour MTF clouds. You can see that both were bullish. Let's see how we traded it, right? As soon as the market opened, we were also, so SPY QQQ was gapping up over the MTF clouds, right? If something is over the MTF clouds, that's really a good good setup because it tells us it's bullish, right? It's 1 hour is bullish. So if 1 hour is bullish, then it becomes more better pivot to long side, right? So I'll show you that. We also keep eyes on the VIX today. If the VIX levels we had today were pretty straightforward. We had 2145, 2190, and if VIX was breaking under those levels, that was kind of telling us, right, that the bullish setup can work. Anyways, initially market was choppy, but right around 950, excuse me, it confirmed us the long. So that's where we took long there on QQQ basically, but SPY was long as well. So we took that long, and SPY QQQ was nice push there over the MTF clouds and solid trend. Use the VIX to help us out. So our first trade was this long. You can see the timestamp guidance. So this long right from 570s all the ways to 572.25. So that was a beautiful trade. Stopped out once it breaks 512. But once it broke 512 and then it decided to bounce from here, that was another trade which we talked about in the community. I can show you the timestamp guidance. Tape was guiding everyone. Tape, one of the great traders in our community, he was guiding everyone on this midday setup, right? So this midday was a 3450 setup, right? So this was a midday was 3050 setup. I was trying to find that discussion we had. So then we also had this SPY 3450 bounce, right? You can see the alert going on here, but that was just an alert to let the community know that there's a bounce happening if they want to trade that midday setup. And we also saw this setup, which was this flag. So you have to trade when there is a, okay, so that was a midday setup. You can see there's a lot of conversation going on today in the community on the midday setup. I already showed you our QQQ longs here, right? So I already showed you that. So that was a good setup, right? The calls went nicely 60, 70, 80%. You could trade SPXL, you could trade a bunch of other things, right? How to make money of this move. I have covered it many times, right? Risk was defined, and we could do a morning trade and get done for the day, or we can do this midday scalp with the stops right under 3450. So you can see how exactly we bounced right over that 3450. So those were two trades in the community. No hindsight, no BS. All here levels. I gave the levels here. You can see the levels breaking out: 570.24, 570.53, and once those levels break out, and we have a confirmed bullish long, and that was a nice way to do on SPY QQQ all day. And this also helps some other trades like NVDA. Anyways, let's go to the next one. All right, let's next talk about Tesla, which was our loser this morning. Took a Tesla long. I was expecting a bigger push, I guess, over the MTF. The mistake was that, of course, it was amateur move. Amateur move, it's up to you. Most of my losers are amateur moves. So took an amateur move at 244s, and as it rejected big, and a big swipe right back here. Had to stop out because, it could have easily broken the lower MTF cloud and go under. So already was a $2 loss. So took that loss and moved on. It did turn bullish later. I told everyone it's turning bullish, watch the pullbacks, but I was not interested in this crazy wick action. I mean, what is this, right? Up, down, up, down. There's too much range, too much volatility to trade it effectively, right? So you can see that crazy wicks. So that was a loser today in the community. Let's go to the next one. All right, next one I'm going to talk about is Pepsi, PEP Pepsi. All right, let's talk about Pepsi now. So Pepsi was a decent play in the community. What was the game plan? Let's go back to our news plays and see what was the game plan. So Pepsi game plan was, let's see. Let's see here. Pepsi had earnings today, right? Start of the earnings season, one of the first earning plays. The plan was simple. They reaffirmed guidance. I remember even the last earnings, I think Pepsi did really good. So I had that in my mind as well. So the plan was to long over 166, short under it, right? So that was the plan. So that was clearly a plan on Pepsi. And as soon as Pepsi started to push, I said long versus 166.50. So 166.50 was our stops, and worked out nicely, right? Amateur move was kind of up down, but later held the trend, pushed nicely 167.50 to 169.50, and personally stopped out at 512s. Completely missed the 34.50 bounce, but a lot of traders did trade that in the community. That was even a better trade, 168 to 170. So these are the midday setup, right? So these are the midday setups that you need to focus on. So that was a good trade. Pepsi timestamp guidance, and excuse me, my little one is here with me as well. So Pepsi was a good trade, right? So you see the complete pre-market guidance, no hindsight, no BS, everything is right there. Really had really good trade. I'm proud of this one. All right, let's look at the next one. Next one we were trading was FUTU. I talked about Chinese name, all the Chinese tickers today. This big gap up kind of spoiled a lot of setup. If the gap up was kind of small, I would have been bearish as well. But it was a huge gap up, right? It was more gap up, was extended to the downside, and our system told us not to short it, right? So that's what I told a lot of people on China plays, that do not short it, right? There was no short in China at the open. So we didn't short it. I mean, everything was choppy, sideways, choppy. Baidu, look what it did. How could you short that, right? BKE, how could you short that? FUTU, which was our long, I'll talk about it. Baba, it was all day sideways. This was not worth it, right? Even shorting Baba what would you short? 1953, maybe made a buck. That's not what we want, right? It's moved $10 down, and it's only moving $2. That's not the trade I want, But anyways, FUTU was our long today. Why was that? Let's talk about FUTU here, right? So FUTU was on our game plan. These were the levels I gave in the sheet. You can clearly see the levels here. So initially we traded FUTU long on the amateur move, right? So this one, you see 512 long, traded the long here, 105s, sold into 108's amateur move. We sold half, and then it pulled back. I thought it's going to break down here, so I sold that as well. I closed it, but then FUTU became bullish again. Right here you see that 950s 10 a.m.s right here. So then I took long again, right? I was risking like $3, and that second long on FUTU kind of worked nicely for us. Pushed to 111, pulled back. There's another add here. You can see that clearly. See there's a level to add, and then you were you bounce it, you push it, and then I got some again. Here you can see I said I got some again. So it was a good move, and then it pushed slowly was pushed to 112.45. So that's where you take most of the profits. I think some traders held for this 34.50 bounce, and they again got 113 there. So it was a good trade, right? Couple few $4 in the morning, and then $6-7 later in the day. So FUTU was a long. China is it's trying to hold this 30. We'll see how tomorrow goes on China, but today was pretty, it was nothing special on China today. I know Baidu even break midday, but I didn't focus on it because in the morning it was kind of nothing there, right? So that was China. So next one we're going to look at is, let's see what we're going to look at next. So Netflix was another play in the community today. That was really good. So it was pretty straightforward. It was high confidence because even the pre-market, I said it has a double upgrade. You can see JP Morgan had positive note. Piper Sandler as well updated it. These were our levels on Netflix, 705.88, and there was other paper 708. So as soon as I saw the strength that's pushing over the MTF cloud, I told everybody double upgrade long as per the game plan. You could take 710 calls, 715 calls, doesn't really matter, but continue to push for us. The first target I gave was 718. I told take some profits off at 10 a.m. We met our 718 target, lock the profit there, leave half. If you have 10 contracts, leave 4. Then you hit 720, sell 2 more, and then still hold because 512 is never breaking down, and we eventually hit 725. So that was, even if you started at 710s or 9s, that was really a $13-14 per share profit, right? Your risk is right here, of course. Wherever you add, your risk has to be like $3-4 based upon the EMA Clouds or low of the day or under the MTF event, right? So that was a nice trade on Netflix. So next one we're going to talk about is SMCI. So let's see how SMCI kind of worked out for us. So SMCI this morning was gapping up again, was a big long yesterday. So this morning what SMCI was doing was, let's say here. So it was a day two setup, bullish to neutral bias trade versus 50. So when I say trade versus 50, which basically means you either long if it confirms long, risk with the 50, or you short with short 50. As you see, it broke all our levels, it broke our MTF clouds, sorry, there are 3450 clouds, and I was a short right away. I was not able to get it. I was not focused on this one, but a lot of traders, RGV nailed it today on SMCI, short at open. So you can see that there was a short on SMCI right at open, right? So you see that RGV was guiding on SMCI short versus that 50 level, and that it was a good fade, good trade. I did mention even at around 934s that you can see that bearish under 50, and it did hit the MTF target of 4460s. And after that we were trying to see for a reversal, which never really came, but reversal finally came here right at 44s. There was a 280k buy at 244. So using that risk, took a long at 44.30, 44.25s and traded into 45.36. You just made $1 on that trade, just based upon this. And you could see the Ripster EMA Clouds are turning right here. So that was a scalp end of the day, and this was the main trade short. And you can see my pre-market planning, and you can see the guidance by RGV and other traders, and you can see my comments here. All right, next one we're going to look at is PANW. So PANW was also long today. It was from our community game plan. Let's see, where was PANW? So PANW was right here somewhere. Let's see, Goldman Sachs, right? Again, the tier one, it was a tier one upgrade, right? It's a Goldman Sachs is tier one. I told everybody trade versus the MTF, neutral to bullish, and it right away pushed higher, right? I told game plan long. You can see my comments here. If you got a good entry, it was not a bad trade. Pushed from all the way from 345.46 to 357s. So NVIDIA was another one which was pretty good. Again, option flow really helped with this NVIDIA trade. Before I show you this NVIDIA trade, I would like to go back. So I would like to go back to the setup that I shared with you guys, a few days ago, even on Twitter. You can see that, right? Breakout setup, triangle setup. I think I discussed in last yesterday video as well, I'm sure. So, this was a plan, AMD event, AI event, and this was the breakout. And we broke out nicely for a nice trade yesterday, and it continued to break out because it's a weekly breakout. It just doesn't stop from there. And you can see here, right, how what's doing since I showed the breakout. It's a technical setup. It's not magic. It's a repeatable technical setup, and 135 is next target. So now you have the daily view, right? So you have a daily chart view. Now you can easily trade on intraday because we look for the AI events and all those bullish AI. So you can trade that, right? I was on the voice in the morning. I saw a lot of flow coming for 130, 131 calls. That's when I told the community it's a good long setup. It's flagging. There's a breakout of yesterday highs. There's a flag breakout. 132 was the first target, and we hit our 132 target nicely, gave 133 our next target, and we hit our 133 target as well. I pulled back here. Swing traders could hold it because the swing trade target is 135. Day traders, we were done with this big push here, and it was a nice profitable trade today. Let's look quickly at some other plays which were long in the community. Apple was a pretty good. I'm just not going to spend too much time trying to keep the video small. You can see the Apple levels 223, 58, 224. Apple didn't really have any crazy news. There was a Citi upgraded it. Was hoping for a better move. Was definitely a good long. I told everybody in the community in the morning, over 1 hour MTF. So you can see that Apple over 1 hour MTF. This is exactly what I was expecting from Tesla. It was a nice trade, nothing crazy. You could have made $1, but didn't have range today, right? It barely traded half of its ATR. You can see here its ATR traded was 58%, right? But that was Apple. Other one that was a good in the community was AVGO. You can see the levels in the pre-market on AVGO right here. Let's see, 175.88, 176.72. AVGO was strong with the SAMIs because SAMIs were strong. AVG really nicely pushed out of. You see the bounce on MTF clouds. So those are MTF cloud trades, right? It's 1 hour MTF clouds. So it was a beautiful trade as well. And you can see here, if you don't use MTF, you can see the 1 hour history EMA clouds right here. Go through a couple of other plays that were good one today. MSTR, this is the reason. And again, MSTR, I tweeted about this setup as well. Why I was breaking out. You can see this weekly breakout setup that I gave yesterday, with a 200 target. And that's what MSTR was doing today. And even if you watch this, my levels here, right? They're right here. Where is it? You can see that once those levels were cleared, MSTR pushed nicely. And that's what tweet I have the alert in the community as well. Yesterday high breakout on MSTR. So you can see that yesterday high breakout right here. So that's along there, that's along here, and there was a nice long scalp. Finally it broke 512s, missed that short. Would have been really good, but that was the move. There was another few plays, Hood I mentioned long on the voice in the morning. It was, you can see that it was a long setup there, really good gamma squeeze. Hood, our levels were clear. 2362 was the upper level, 2330 was the lower level, and I had a bullish bias, right? So you can clearly see my pre-market guidance here. So, it's a good trade. It's all about getting an entry. You can look at a smaller time frame if you want to, but do not forget Hood was also a daily breakout. So daily charts are very important, because if you do not look at your daily charts, you're going to miss these breakouts. So that's the daily chart, which was very important, right? So daily breakout. There was another setup like that. There was a nice head of news, VKTX. I also tweeted about about the upgrade this morning, and that was VKTX. It was a good long as well. I mentioned that it's going as per our game plan. You can see that. Where was my game plan on VKTX? It was right here. Where was it? Let's see. Right here. Long over 1 hour MTF. Oppenheimer, outperform rating, long over 1 hour MTF. So where is the 1 hour MTF? It's right here. Long over 1 hour MTF, and from 64 bucks it went all the way to 69 bucks. That's a $5 per share profit that you could make on this, just a simple repeatable setup. Nice winner for the community as well there on VKTX.